So as you probably know, Super Smash Bros. Wii U, for the first time in the series' history, supports up to 8 players at the same time in a new mode called 8-Player Smash. There's just one problem. You can only play with a full 8 people in a select few stages. But this is for a good reason. After all, with twice the amount of characters, it puts a much greater load on the Wii U's hardware. So it's really no great surprise that a lot of the supported stages are the less hardware-intensive ones, like the Great Cave Offensive. But even then, some of the supported stages underwent a few tweaks to make them compatible in 8-Player Smash, such as how all the spaceships that zoom around in the background of Mario Galaxy are mysteriously missing. And thankfully, Nintendo just released an update for Super Smash Bros. Wii U that adds support for 15 more stages in 8-Player Smash. But if those stages weren't compatible before, that means something about them must have changed since. And sure enough, that's exactly the case. Well, for most of them at least. So I thought it'd be fun to go through each of them and point out the new differences that we noticed when playing an 8-Player Smash. And you might be surprised by some of the changes, particularly as some of them arguably improve the stage, depending on your perspective of course. So first up is Mario Circuit from Brawl. And you probably remember the Shy Guys that would race around the track in real time. Well, in 8-Player Smash, it seems the Shy Guys actually got a little too shy as they're nowhere to be found. Which means the map in the background also has nothing meaningful to display either, even though you can still see the Shy Guys on the leaderboard. Weird. Oh, and all of this applies to the stage's new Omega form in 8-Player Smash 2. Next up is Luigi's Mansion, which of course is memorable for having an easily destroyed mansion. But in 8-Player Smash, it seems the mansion has been heavily reinforced as it can no longer be destroyed. In fact, the support columns are no longer interactive at all, meaning they no longer block or interfere with attacks. Then there's Pyrosphere, in which Ridley infamously appeared and interacted with not just the fighters, but the stage too, including destroying the smaller platforms. But in 8-Player Smash, it seems Ridley has flown the coop, as he's nowhere to be found, which is something I'm sure a lot of people consider to be an improvement. And of course, this also means the platforms always remain in place now, as Ridley's no longer around to destroy them. Oh, and do you remember the lava that used to flow in the background? Well, it seems a leak has been plugged when playing with 8 people. Similarly, Norfair used to place a huge emphasis on lava, with lava walls, tidal waves, and lava showers all posing major hazards throughout the match. Hell, a tiny structure would even occasionally appear to provide shelter from the environment. But in 8-Player Smash, you won't have to worry about any of that, as the lava is strictly a background element. Next up is Lilac Cruise, in which, as the name suggests, you cruise around the Lylat system, warping between 5 different areas throughout the match. But when playing an 8-Player Smash, you'll find yourself going in circles, because you now just loop through the same uneventful background section over and over. As for the Omega form, well, it was already different from the primary stage in that you only flew through a single area, without warping, while Star Fox and Star Wolf flew around in the background. And that's still the case in the 8-Player Smash version, except that Star Fox and Star Wolf have gone missing. Now, Pokemon Stadium 2 is well known for basically being 4 stages in one, as it would transform from its primary form into 1 to 3 others throughout the match. But in 8-Player Smash, it no longer transforms at all, leaving only its primary form. Oh, and the Jumbotron in the background no longer displays a live video feed of the match, which is also the case with the new Omega form in 8-Player Smash. Moving on, we have Town and City, in which the villagers would gather around and watch a battle from the sidelines. But in 8-Player Smash, it seems the villagers found something better to do, as they've all gone missing. Now interestingly, the Omega version had already omitted the villagers, and there seems to be no additional changes for the new 8-Player Smash version, so we're not quite sure why it's only now becoming compatible. Anyways, it seems the same fate befell the villagers in Smashville, as they too are nowhere to be found in 8-Player Smash. And finally, do you remember the giant mirror in Wii Fit Studio? Well, it no longer appears at all in 8-Player Smash. Okay, so that covers it for the new primary stages in 8-Player Smash, as well as their Omega forms. But there are still a couple more Omega forms that were added to 8-Player Smash that we haven't yet discussed. And first up is Mario Galaxy, which as you may have guessed, now also lacks a background spaceships. And then there's the Great Cave Offensive, which oddly seems to be unchanged from its normal Omega form, which makes us wonder why it too wasn't included originally. And there you have it, that's all the changes we could find in the new 8-Player Smash stages. But if you missed anything, be sure to let us know by posting in the comments below. Thanks for watching, make sure to stay tuned to GameXplain.com for more on Super Smash Bros. Wii U and other things gaming too.